Hey guys, listen up. YouTube works with an algorithm. By you liking this video, it says to YouTube, this is an active channel, and it helps keep me full-time on YouTube. So, help me out guys. Like, share, and subscribe.
All right. One of the consequences of the precession, right, is that the sun is in a different part of the sky at the same time of the year. In other words, right now, pick a month, okay?
Right.
Let's pick October.
Okay.
And so October, astrologically, the sun is moving through Libra.
Okay.
Okay? Well, the precession of the Earth, the wobble, over the 26,000 years, will systematically put the sun in a different constellation in the month of October.
Right.
Okay? So the entire zodiac rotates through the calendar.
Wow.
In fact, when the zodiac was codified 2,500 years ago, wait a minute, that's like 1/12 of 26,000. Oh my gosh. So is October still the month for Libra? No, the sun was in Libra 2,000 years ago in October. All of that has shifted. And so, if you thought you were Libra, you're actually Scorpio right now.
And that's when the sun gets all sexy.
I didn't know you were fluent in this. So, the zodiac people, the astrologers, still describe the sun being in these various constellations as they were mapped out 2,200 years ago,
right,
between 2,000 and 2,400 years ago. And so if it's Cancer, Scorpio, Gemini, you would expect the sun to be in that constellation the day you were born. It was 2,200 years ago.
Oh man, that is so...
It is not today. Oh. It's all shifted. And they're not really forthcoming about that.
No, because if they were, then all of astrology would be bull crap. That is, oh man.
Oh, wait, not only that, the zodiac, the sun in the zodiac actually passes through a 13th constellation. It's called Ophiuchus.
All right. God bless you.
Ophiuchus. And
Ophiuchus. Wow.
So,
okay.
In fact, the sun spends more time in Ophiuchus than it does in Scorpius.
Okay.
So, if you thought you were Scorpio, you were probably Ophiuchian, and all Scorpios and Ophiuchians are currently Librans.
Modern astrology is no different than your modern day dogmatic religions. Its fundamentalists are astrologers. Yes, modern day astrologers are fundamentalists. No different from your fundamentalist pastor who believe that their teaching is sound doctrine, unrefutable. For an astrologist, everything in life has an astrological meaning. If you lose something, this is because of Mercury retrograde. This is because the planets were not aligned correctly. And it's not to take away to completely take away from the movement of heavenly bodies, because I'm in the world of occult. But just some things are just pure erroneous. And sometimes you have to use your logic. There's astrophysicists out here that have pointed out time after time the inconsistencies of astrology, which is based on pure science. There's people that talk about, oh, Mercury retrograde. That's when the Mercury goes retrograde. To an astrophysicist or an astronomer, this is absolute nonsense. There's no such thing as Mercury going retrograde. When you are dogmatic, when you subscribe to fundamentalism, you'll never ever believe in progression. The typical astrologer today, as I stated, is a fundamentalist. They look back 2,000 years and their doctrine remains the same. Their belief is no different than the Christian holding on to his Bible from a teaching from a couple of hundreds, if not 2,000 years ago. They hold that as the modern day doctrine. And this is soundproof and doesn't take into consideration all the evolutions and changes that has occurred in the world. In astrology, you have people that hold on to the 12 constellations. Back in ancient times, they did not have the technology which we have to this day. And I believe in ancient times, they only knew of 7 planets. Now, there's tons of planets and tons of constellations that have come to, be known by the world today. Retrograde. I want to talk about this because you have a lot of people, oh my God, Mercury retrograde. In ancient times, astrologers didn't have the technology which we had today. So by their observation, it appeared as if Mercury was on a retrograde path. This was an illusion that they did not understand because they did not have the technology, once again. And their understanding of the world was limited. What's actually happening in that alleged retrograde is that you have 2 planetary bodies moving at 2 different speeds. So when one planet comes in the path of Mercury, it looks as if Mercury is making a movement backwards, but it's only the slow movement that the planet passes that gives the illusion that Mercury is retrograde. So what does this say about Mercury retrograde? There's no such thing as Mercury retrograde. There's no such thing as Mercury going retrograde. But on the level of occult, we can speculate rather than making these experiences Bible truth or fact. Astrology is about speculation and interpretation. I don't want people out here to be lost because there's a lot of people that know they believe they're doomed. They get into this fatalistic view of the world where, oh my God, because I was born this way, my natal chart says this. Let me explain something to you. most astrologers, if you gave them a telescope, could not point out any of the locations which they have on their chart. You asked them to show you what is a rising sign. They could not show it to you if you were out in the open field. They tell you sextiles, they tell you squares, they tell you trines. They cannot explain that realistically to you. So, again, I don't want you guys to feel lost. Astrology is a speculative occult science, and it should not be looked at as this is what it is. There is no change in my life. I cannot do nothing to change my destiny. We're not living 2,000 years ago where people did not have the technology or the resources to know any better. Don't be dogmatic. Don't get caught up in fundamentalism.